But then thereafter, you see, we came to Abu in 61, and then we decided to be Baba's children. And then we thought that we should use this children, intelligence as per the directions of Baba or as per the directions of sisters. So that was in 61. And the very first question of use of intelligence came when we had very first festival, Rakhi festival in Bombay. Dadi Nirmo Shanta was our center in charge. You know Dadi Nirmo Shanta, Brahma Baba's lucky daughter. She is always meeting Baba at the end of Baba's Murli. So Dadi Nirmo Shanta was in our center in charge. And then we had a meeting and we decided to have a nice function. So Dadi Nirmo Shanta asked me, I asked Dadi Nirmo Shanta that can we have a nice big function? So Dadi Nirmo Shanta told me, yes, we can have. Then she asked me for how many people? You know, before this knowledge, you see, because I was secretary of one very big educational institution, charitable institution, and we used to conduct big functions, big programs, and people used to come and visit and participate in our functions by paying for the tickets also, 5,000, 10,000 people like that. So I had that experience. So I told Dadi Nirmo Shanta that why not organize it for at least 2,000 to 3,000 people. And Dadi Nirmo Shanta said, Ramesh, you don't have experience. Not even 3 people come to our lectures. And you think of 2,000 people? Again that conflict of intelligence came. So I told Dadi Nirmo Shanta that, Dadi, that is what you have been doing. And because of your method of inviting people, you cannot have a crowd of more than 3 people. Give me chance, and I will see that there will be a crowd of more than 3,000 to 4,000 people. I know how to handle people and how to invite people. She said, no, don't think too much of your intelligence and experience. Not so many come. Ultimately, it was a compromise of intelligence. Dadi Nirmo Shanta agreed that we have a small hall of 350 people only. I said, okay. I had decided not to contest too much, use so much of my intelligence and be obedient child of Baba. So I said, okay, 350 is all right. But and then Dadi Nirmo Shanta said, hardly there will be 5 people in the audience. I said, let us leave it to drama. You allow me to have a program as per my suggestions and my desire, my planning. I drafted invitation card, dialogues, dance, drama and all those things. And at the end wrote discourse. Because people wanted entertainment, and through entertainment, knowledge and all those things. That was my understanding of people's desire. And then I wrote my first drama, In Search of God. That was my first drama. I became the first Shakespeare of this divine knowledge, so to say. And it was nicely performed. Usha was the main hero actress of this drama. And we had opened our gates at 3 o'clock. Function was at 3:30 on a normal working day. And within 5 minutes, the entire hall was house full, jam-packed. And then Dadi Nirmo Shanta got the news that, hall is absolutely house full. And there are more than 350 people. It's an air-conditioned hall. The authorities will not allow extra persons to enter into the hall. So we conducted the function. We wanted to Dadi Nirmala to come and give her discourse or lecture at the end. She refused. She said, I am sitting outside. Let Usha conduct her lecture also. So I was worried that what is this? Why Dadi Nirmala is not coming on the stage for giving lecture? But as I have decided that I have to use my intelligence as an obedient child of Baba, I said, okay, I asked Usha to give lecture also for 20 minutes. And then at the end of the function, I went outside and asked Dadi Nirmala, what is my fault? Why you did not come inside? And Dadi Nirmala said, what can I do? You invited so many people and only 350 could be admitted inside. There were outside the hall there was a big crowd of at least 200 people. So I was sitting with them, talking with them, chit-chatting them and giving respect and regard to them and sharing knowledge with them. Why did you invite so many people? I said, I already told you that there should be a big hall for 2,000 or 3,000 people and you refused and you said, okay, nothing doing, not more than 350. It is not my mistake. But that she wrote to Baba that, look, Brahmesh conducted the program, 350 people, you see, they were already there within 5 minutes of opening of gates and all those things. That's how, you see, slowly and slowly, Brahma Baba had faith in me and my intelligence and all those things, and use of intelligence in godly services. And then what happened? Then I came to Abu for the first time. And again I had to use my intelligence, conflict of intelligence with Brahma Baba. When I came for the first time in Pandav Bhavan, Baba, you know, where there is that tower of silence, there you see, there was formerly lawn tennis ground. And Baba used to play cricket with all the children, you see. So the moment I entered Pandav Bhavan from the backside, I first met Dadi Santri. And she told me, Ramesh, look, Brahma Baba is not listening to us and he is playing cricket and he is doing bowling and tirelessly. His sugar level will go up and the children do not understand this problem of Brahma Baba's health and all those things. What to do? Again, this was a challenge to my intelligence. I said, Dadi, because in those days we used to sisters as sisters only. I said, sister, don't worry, I will go to Brahma Baba and see that I start bowling and Baba takes rest. He said, no, so many people have tried, but Baba is not listening to anybody. And then I told Dadi, Santri Dadi, that don't worry, I have my intelligence, I will use my intelligence and see that I get ball from Baba and Baba takes rest. He said, how will you do? Baba will not listen to you also. I said, give me chance. I will try my level best. So I went to Baba on that cricket ground or lawn tennis ground. I told Baba, give me ball. Baba said, nothing doing, I will not give to you. So I said, Baba, you must play game as per the laws of the cricket. So Baba said, what are the laws of cricket? I don't know. I said, then Baba, because you don't know, you have to observe laws of cricket. He said, what are the laws of cricket? I said, as per the cricket laws, a bowler has to bowl only 6 times. And then there should be a change in bowler, that means change in bowling. Somebody else must come and start doing bowling. Like that, you see, at the end of every 6 balls, there should be change in bowler. And you have been bowling it for last more than half an hour. You have broken all the rules of cricket. So you must play as per the rules of the game. So he said, then what should I do? I said, you should wait in the ground, on the ground, you see, as a fielder, and prevent the other person to taking runs also. That is your duty. Or if the ball comes, you catch the ball. And then he gave me a ball, and then he asked me, where should I stand? I said, you stand here. And then I had my first ball. And there was one brother, he hit the ball, and the ball went straight to Brahma Baba. And Brahma Baba caught that ball. And so that batsman was declared out. Those of you who know cricket, they know, you see. So it was my first ball. First ball, that batsman was out, caught by Brahma Baba and bowled by Ramesh. In the field of cricket, you see, this is a great achievement. If you do this bowling and you get wicket on your very first ball, that is written in the Guinness record also. For example, those of you know cricket, Soni Ramadhin of West Indies came to India and he took the wicket while with this first ball on by bowling in Bombay, and it became part of the history. And next day, it came in the newspapers also that Soni Ramadhin took first wicket on his first ball on the soil of India. So like that, you see, I had my first experience with Brahma Baba. So always this tug of war of intelligence. I used to ask Brahma Baba that we must get our institution registered. If not the main institution, then at least some other institution. Because we human beings are not immortals, but the institutions are immortals. And therefore, in order to have perpetuity of our institution, we should have a separate institution to take care of properties. Because unless and until we have properties, the institution cannot progress further. Baba said, nothing doing, nothing doing, nothing doing. It is my principle that this Pandava government will not be registered before the Kaurava government. That was Baba's stand. And I always used to explain to Baba that we will not register this main Brahma Kumari's body, but we have a via media, a separate institution to take care of properties only. So your principle that the Pandava government will not be registered with Kaurava government will also survive, and the use and utility of a separate institution for buying of properties and use of properties will be served. And right from 61, when I became Baba's child, right from 61, that struggle about registration of a separate institution was there, going on, discussion with Brahma Baba. I always used to write, and Baba used to refuse, and I always thought, okay, time has not come. Time has not come. But let me do this hammering work. There are two words in English dictionary. One is repetition and the second is hammering. If you want to drive a nail also in a wall also, you have to hit the nail 10-15 times only, then only the nail will go inside the wall. It is not repetition. You are not repeating your hammer on the head of that nail, but you are hammering it so that you see then the foundation of that nail inside the wall will become solid. So I had right from the beginning understanding that repetition is different and hammering is different. Why not write to Baba and let Baba refuse? A day will come when Baba will accept. And then this happened in November 68. Baba wrote to me in Bombay that, child, you are always insisting that we should register a separate institution to buy properties. Now there is a need to buy property because Baba wanted to have museum in Mount Abu. And so Baba wanted to buy property in Mount Abu. So he wrote to me that you come to Abu with Dadi Prakash Mani. Dadi Prakash Mani was our center in charge at that time in Bombay, Gamdevi Center. So both of us came to Abu, and then Baba said that, okay, child, I agree to your suggestion that we should have a separate institution, should get it registered separately. And once it is registered separately, then we can buy properties. Baba molded his principle of buying properties as late as 1968. Till that time, Baba was not in favor of buying properties. So that was the change in Baba's policy of allowing institution to buy properties. That was in 68 November. And it was decided that we should have a separate institution. Baba said, okay, register it in Bombay. I was made the managing trustee and the settler of the trust. And we got it registered. And Brahma Baba immediately started using that trust. He immediately wrote to me that as soon as you get it registered, come to Abu. There is a property available for buying for our spiritual museum in Mount Abu. So the trust was registered on 16th of January, 69. Mind you, Baba became Avyakt on 18th of January. This happened on 16th of January. So Baba wrote to me, and so I went to Ahmedabad on 16th night. On 17th morning I was in Ahmedabad. I met that owner of the property. You know, our museum is there near Naki Lake. So that property was formerly known as Bundi Cottage. So we decided to buy that property. And by evening, 90% of the deal was okay. So I telephoned from Ahmedabad on 17th evening from Ahmedabad that, Baba, I have decided this property, to buy this property. 80% or 90% of the work is over. By tomorrow evening deal will be final. But he says he will come to Abu and get the property registered after 10 days, after 5 days. So what should I do for next 5 days? So Baba on telephone tells me that, what is your choice? I said, Baba, I can come to Abu, or exhibition is going on in Baroda. I can go there and do godly service and come to Abu after 5 days. So Baba said, yes, you go to Baroda. There is no godly service here in Abu. You go there. And at that time, Dadi Prakash Mani was in Pandav Bhavan. She took for telephone from Baba. And Dadi had to counteract the direction of Brahma Baba. So Dadi, in strong words, said, Ramesh, if you have got intelligence, do not believe in Baba's direction. You come to Abu immediately tomorrow night. I said, okay, I will leave from Ahmedabad tomorrow night, and on 19th morning I will be in Abu. She said, okay. And then Baba snatched, so to say, telephone from Dadi Prakash Mani's hands and said, why you are telling Ramesh to come to Abu? You should not tell him to come to Abu. I was listening to all this talk between Baba and Dadi Prakash Mani. But then Dadi had firm knowledge that I am coming. And you know what happened on 18th of January at about 8:15 or so. And the very first thing that Dadi did was to telephone me in Ahmedabad that, Ramesh, where are you? So by that time I had already left for the train, for the railway station. So Dadi came to know that yes, I am here next day morning. And I was the first person to reach Abu on 19th of January. And then we saw for the first time Baba in that position. You see Baba having left that body. Dadi Prakash Muni took me to Baba's room and we paid tributes to Baba. I remember Baba for 5 minutes. And then in front of Baba's body only I told Dadi that Dadi, it's a great thing that you have taken care of Baba throughout the night yesterday. But now this is the work of brothers, of how to do this cremation work and all those things. And so Dadi asked me, do you know how the cremation takes place? I said, yes, that is what I am doing. I had my cremation of my father, my so many relatives and all those things. I have done cremation of not less than 2,000 to 3,000 people, 2 to 200 people, 2 or 3 dozen of persons and all those things. So I can arrange it, everything nicely. And Dadi said, okay, do it. And then that was the use of my intelligence for the cremation work of Brahma Baba's body. Very first thing that I decided that we have to preserve Baba's body. We called doctor, there was one doctor here, Thadani. He was Baba's physician here, doctor here. So I asked him, can we preserve body for the next 3 days? He said, yes, you can do it, but you must keep it in a box and place ice cubes all around the body, and then you can preserve for 3 days easily. So we started collecting ice. It was not easily available in Mount Abu. Nearest was Palanpur, about 60-70 kilometers, miles from Abu. We got it, we had a box, and then Baba's body was placed, we placed body in that history hall with ice and all those things. And then slowly and slowly, brothers and sisters from around the divine family, around India, started coming. And then you know that we had the cremation on 21st. At every stage, you had to use your intelligence. Dada Chandra came to me that there should be a platform on which the body should be rested. What should be the size of the platform? I just remembered Baba and what should be the size. And I said, okay, make it 6 foot by 10 feet. He said, okay, it's a nice size. Then he asked me, what should be the height of that platform? I said, 2.5 feet. He said, okay. Then the question came, where exactly cremation should take place? Then we sent Dada Jagdish, I sent Brother Jagdish to Sirohi, our district headquarters, to take permission from the government to have this cremation in the Pandav Bhavan complex itself. And the collector of this district gave us permission to have cremation inside the Pandav Bhavan. That was a unique thing. And then